Everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Coffee. Where'd my audio mixer go? That's weird. Check, check, check. Oh, there's that. Okay, making sure everything's working. Hey guys, how you guys doing? Hello today. Hey, let's see. Good morning. Let's see who's all here. We've got Kevin, Creaton, Creatorton. Got Gundam, Kevin, and got Daniel. Hey, a week. Damn it. Going Ape Costume is here. Wonderful. Thank you. Hey, John the Modifier. John, good morning. Hey, John, I'm just about to reach out to you. The irony was I wrapped on that show. I went to Canada, did my 2 cons, got back. I started working on a new pattern. I was going to start like sending you some pictures. So I started working on a new pattern for some high-tech body armor I was making. And then I got called into, I got a job, and I'm working on Fallout third season. Again, of course, I can't go into details and talk about it, but it does involve a robot. That's all I can say. It involves a robot. All right, Ted, Elko is over, and yet again I have been asked, where's Ted? And Lauren, isn't Lauren lovely? She's adorable. Lauren and I met at, hey guys, really quickly, it's Becky, Going in Costume. We're talking about ElkoCon. She just got back from ElkoCon. It's a convention very close to her in her Nevada that she goes to every year. She's one of the regulars there. People love her. She also does the costume contest, and she's a mad maker. She got to hook up with my friend. Lauren does cosplay, and Lauren and I became friends because we judged together at the GameCon Canada in last year. Yeah, it was last year. I'm still in my hotel room. But Lauren was a wonderful. I knew of Lauren, but never actually met her. And then we were kind of propelled together, and we had the judges costume contest. And GameCon Canada was great, but they were still kind of learning out, working out the bugs and stuff. So the cosplay competition they were still very new at how to run one. And so Robin, who was running it, myself, and me and Lauren, and there's just 2 judges. I thought Allison Tabitha was hosting, but Allison wasn't so much judging. So really only had 2 judges. So, row your butt. So yeah, so we got propelled, but we pulled it off, and we got along really well, and it was a big hit. We became really good friends, and so I hope to work with her again someday. But when I found out she was going to Elko, I could not wait to let her know that. I told her, I said, "You can be hooking up with my friend Going in Costume, and you're gonna love her," and I knew she would. But anyway, long story short, Modifier was I was doing these patterns, and I got pulled into work. I'm like, ugh. So I want to get back to making videos and making patterns, and then I just I'll be able to catch your breath and get my YouTube channel up and running again, and I got a job again. The job is going to last for a couple of weeks. Like anything, I build and then I'm done. It's like then level off. So, and then really quickly, guys. Also, a big shout out to Scare City in Florida. Scare City is in Florida at the St. Pete Bayfront. It's a convention where it's featuring in horror and movies and stuff. And Dewey runs that, and it's wonderful. And he was like, "Hey man, we'd love you to come out." So he wants me to do some kind of horror themed stuff, and I thought like making props or whatnot. I said, a thing I'd like to do is blood gags. I worked. The reason what got this whole thing started because I worked on a film. I made a film, and going Cups goes, and our Ghostbuster kid I showed you every year sewed up a full jumpsuit from Project Hail Mary, completed an adult and a little stinker. Competed as an adult, and that little stinker placed again. Yeah. Becky's referring to a young man that lives out in Elko, who's just reminds me of myself when I was a kid, like super talented and can like, what's the problem solve and make things, and he can sew, and he can fabric. So when I met him, he was into cardboard on his Ghostbuster backpack. And I was like, man, you're almost there. Like, embrace the foam, and because you have this. I told him, I said, there's sewing things. You have the sewing down. People struggle with sewing. He's already got the sewing skills. So he's sewing and making costumes, and so as Becky said, he entered the costume as an adult, and he still won because he's so talented. But he made a hill. Oh, Becky, I can't wait to see pictures. Are you going to be posting pics? I can't wait to see them. Wonderful. Oh, I haven't seen season 2 yet. Squibs. Yeah, squibs are more explosive, which involves pyro, but you can do poor man squibs, where you just shoot, like you can have like a little air. I've done things with air bursts, like you could shoot burst of air, like blow the clothes and put some blood out, and then you pump the blood, so you can hold it and blood's coming out. But oh yeah, you got Becky. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, these are just old school effects. But anyway, the reason I was doing the blood effects, I worked on my movie, and we had a great makeup guy, and there's some blood effects, and I just described it. And then when we got to the blood effects, I'm like, where's the blood? Oh, he showed me these little tubes he had. I'm like, dude, that's not gonna, I want blood to gush out. He had these little tubes. I'm like, no, that's not gonna work. Like, it was ridiculous. So I realized he was good at makeup but didn't understand the blood effects, and that's more of a rigging and effects, more of a physical effects thing, and then a makeup thing. And I realized well, Becky, I'm so glad that people are asking where's Ted. I made an impact, but Elko, like any convention, they're growing and they're getting popular. So they're like, hey man, people like this con and we want to bring people out. So by all means, bring people out. And so they have been. And I noticed they're getting bigger people, bigger celebrities, and it's happening. It's 2 days, right? Becky's Saturday and Sunday. Sorry guys, I'm just chatting up with going to costume here to find out how many. I think it's 2 days, right? Because originally when we started, it was just 1 day. And let me tell you why I love ElkoCon so much is because it reminds 2 full days. Yes, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, Bridgeton, small suburb, and growing up as a kid in the Midwest. There wasn't much of an outlet for us. There wasn't cons. There was. I didn't know anything about it. There wasn't even a Star Trek con. This is like back in the 70s, and conventions slowly started forming. Not until like what? I didn't know anything until like the 90s when I came out. There was comic book conventions and things like that, but I never really got to go to because I was working all the time. But there was a con I discovered when I was 17 years old called Archon. And I was like, wait, what is Archon? And I went to and it was like Archon 17, I think it was. I would go, and people had amazing costumes. And I was like, so that's what fired me up to make costumes. And I always wanted to make stuff. I never really made anything to compete as much as I wanted to. But long story short was, I was just blown away that there are people more than I maybe knew 5 people that liked the same things I did. Then when I found out about a convention, wait, there's thousands of people that love this. So I went. I loved it. Then it became my thing. Every year was Archon. So I would always plan, make costumes, get friends on board. So every year it became a big event. And so I'd always have, that would be my thing to build for, was Archon. And in 1989, Batman came out, and I wanted to do a bat suit. So I made a bat suit. Hey, everybody. Hey, Kathy. Good morning, Kathy. Gundam. Floyd Splurny Jr. What's up, Ted in chat? What's up, man? What's up? How you doing? But yeah, I went to Archon dressed as Batman. I think I may have posted some pictures on my website. Hold on. I think I did. Wait. Hold on. Let me. Hold on. Batman. Pictures. Photos. Oh, Batman's not in there? Man, I have like virtually no pictures of my costumes in here. I have like Vampire D, Space Marine, Battle Angel. I don't have my board. Oh my god, this is terrible, guys. No wonder you guys are upset with me not posting pictures. I only have like a little bit of pictures. Man, these are terrible pictures. No, sorry, guys. Hold on. Costumes. Costumes. There we go. This website's a mess, guys. It really is. I need to sit down and make a list about things I want to do on my website because it's so outdated. It really is. And I apologize about that. There you go, guys. That's a picture. If you click on that link, that's right. The Renaissance Hotel. That was the very first art. That was the one they used to have. Well, it used to be at the Chase like hotel downtown, St. Louis, and that was the first times I was going. And then they moved to the Henry VIII Hotel. It was the Henry VIII Hotel, next by the airport, and that hotel was kind of janky because it was an old hotel, and they added on to it because they needed, and it was just done so poorly. I'm sure a lot of stuff wasn't up to code, but after a while, we were at that hotel. That's where they'd have it every year. We got kicked out of the Chase because of just parties and people. And so anyway, that became a big thing. And then, so we left, and then they ended up. Of course, I was at Henry VIII Hotel. That was my last convention I did there. Scissorhand, the first one I went to there was in Collinsville. Yeah, that's when they finally, because we did downtown St. Louis, the Chase Hotel. Then we did Henry VIII by the airport, and then eventually I left. I left in 1989. That was my last one I went to, and then only to find out that the people that ran it, well, like I said, it was such a mess to try getting in St. Louis. They finally did in Collinsville, which I think is great. They have a bigger space out there, and the locals love it because it's such a small little area, convention center in the middle of nowhere, that when the con comes in, it brings business to all the restaurants and the people around the area. Oh, Sister Van is from the south of St. Louis. Originally, okay. Collinsville, yeah, Collins, it's good. Well, anyway, I went back and it was a blast. I loved it. And they had me back as a guest, and we did the 42 was the 42nd Archon, and Richard, Tom, myself, and JD, all the original guys, because it was the answer to life, the universe, and everything was number 42. A little Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy inside joke there. So we all went back and it was a blast. I had a great time. So that was great. So yeah, St. Louis cons, everything. But anyway, I go back. ElcoCon reminds me of my first convention, because what it was when I discovered it, I was like, "What? This is amazing!" And then I found my community. So when I went for the first time, there was a very small con for themselves, had a one day or whatnot. So when I showed up, people came into the convention, like this convention, we had like a place we used and dressed it all up, and people just came in with their mouth wide open, their eyes wide, like, wow, this is our first convention. Like, we've never been to one before. And it was mostly the youngsters who were just like, wow. It was like them to be at Disneyland. They were just loving it. And the fact is, like, I could see it in their faces of what it meant to them. And it took me back to when I went to my first game. I'm like, oh, that's amazing. I love contributing to people. Just remind me of me when I was a kid. Like, yes, this is what, there's more than, you're not the only one that likes this. And, you can come here and not be made fun of and shamed for liking sci-fi. I mean, although that's pretty much past now. But when I was a kid growing up, if, in the 70s, liking Star Trek and Star Wars, oh, you're so sci-fi. Yeah, people just made fun of you. It was ridiculous. It's like, if you love science fiction, it was just this thing of being made fun of. You're a nerd or a geek. And now it's the complete opposite now, which is the irony, because I was shunned and made fun of in my youth. And now people are like, oh, now all these like these hot girls are like, oh, I'm into sci-fi. Like, you wouldn't be if you knew what shame and abuse you would get back in my day. It's like, you wouldn't have. What it was, I found out, a lot of people were closeted sci-fi people. There were people that liked it but didn't talk publicly about it because they're afraid of getting shamed when I was growing up. And now it's kind of gone, but yeah. Oh, Becky says, oh my God, kids all over. I brought a manual typewriter for my booth, and that was pretty sci-fi, right? The kids were amazed. Yeah, found their Kaplan eyes. You're absolutely right. Creaton. Creatorton. I'm always gonna have fun with that name. Yeah, because people, it's exactly. And when that started, the big time it blew up is when, that's what happened to San Diego Comic-Con. San Diego Comic-Con has always been a nerd fest for comics and books and collecting and toys and whatnot. And it was always, and then when Hollywood, wow, Kevin, woo, I love the graphics. Kevin, thank you so much. That's new. Betty used to do that, right? Kevin with the $2 donation. Thank you so much, sir. I will buy a coffee, as they would say. Yeah, what it was, San Diego Comic-Con was a strictly convention for nerds, and when Hollywood discovered it and showed, I think a lot of it, what happened was my friend Sandy Calora made Batman's Dead End. Batman's Dead End was a short he made for YouTube, and he put a lot of work into it, spent a lot of money, pulled in a lot of favors, and if you guys haven't seen it, you can definitely check it out. It's called Batman's Dead End, and it's a YouTube. It's kind of it's where Batman kind of meets the Predator. It's just a great nerd fest thing. Well, anyway, Sandy made it, and his whole plan was, I'd like to show this at a convention. So he went to San Diego Comic-Con, and again, it's a nerd fest. It's their event. They can do what the heck they want, right? It's a nerd fest. So they're like, yeah, sure. So Sandy Calora shows up with this movie and has a screening. Hey guys, I'm doing this thing called Batman's Dead End. It's a little fan film, and I like to show you people. So he got a room, got a projector, and they had a screening, and it exploded. So they showed it at San Diego Comic-Con. The kids went, wow, and it exploded on the internet. It went on social media. Everybody blew up because this is after. Now you have to understand the timing of this. When he did this, it was after they did like Joel Schumacher's Batman for Batman and Robin, that thing with George Clooney, which was just and it bombed. Nobody liked it. It was terrible, and they were all like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna make these great Batman movies," and they just tanked. It bombed. So the movie Batman came out. It bombed horribly. So they basically destroyed Batman. Everybody was mad. And Sandy Clore is like, no, man, make it like the graphic novel, like Dark Knight, Batman. So a lot of people argue with me and have the debate about it, but I'm telling you right now, give credit where credit's due, because Sandy Clore made this film, and it blew up, and it egg on the studio's faces. They got mad. They were so bent that this kid made this film, got all this popularity. Kids went ballistic. This is what Batman's supposed to look like. Yeah, Dark Knight. And they made him. He made a classic of Batman, like right out of the comic book. And everybody went ballistic. So the studio got mad, and they went to San Diego Comic-Con and said, hey, man, you can't screen stuff like that anymore. They're like, what? Hey, if you want our business. So the studio realized this is where you show trailers. This is where you push movies. So ever since that happened, the studios started renting spaces. So Warner Brothers, Paramount, Apple TV, all these big studios started promoting their stuff at San Diego Comic-Con. Because this kid did it. He did this thing, this fan film, and they realized that's where the audience is at. So then, years later now, you go to San Diego Comic-Con, it's just all movies and TV shows and promotions. Giant billboards, half of buildings, like comic books, everything gets shoved to the side, all the toys and everything shoved. So now it's just all promotion for TV shows and movies. That's all it is. So and then it got so big they had to go outside the convention center and start renting parking lots. So you got parking lots that could do pop-ups and stuff. So from that point on, I know people are going to argue with me, but I'm telling you right from one, after Sandy Clore's film, that started the seed to explode to where it's at now today. When they started to realize they took advantage of the fans and saw what the market was. Yeah. So there it is. Now that's how to be a nerd. Scissorhand graduated from high school in '89, and I got the same thing, but as a girl. I had a typewriter as a kid, and I can't draw with them. So, yeah, I hear it back. The Neon Batman. Keaton still looks undefeated. Yeah, I think Keaton looks great. I worked in construction, got called a nerd for stuff at the time, but loved it. Yeah. They steal ideas without giving credit. Oh, that's Hollywood. That's all they do. I saw you yesterday at the Star Trek Las Vegas. That's right. That's cool. That happens in August, right? It probably just happened, didn't it? My friends Desert Rose and Joanna go there every year. I went one year. Rose, I am dropping it on the tall end. Hey, Rose Gloria, welcome. Thank you for hanging out. Okie dokie. I stopped in. I'm going to leave and go break down my booth before my butt gets glued to the... All right, Becky. Thanks for popping in, guys. She has to go back to work, guys. Thanks for coming in, Beck. Thank you. Well, tell you what, guys. Let's get back to what we're doing today. Let's show you. Let me set up my overhead camera, guys. Hold on. There we go. This is all my blood gag stuff. Now, what I've done... That's so ridiculous. This magnet's supposed to be a lot closer. Okay, so what we have, these are just some gags I put up together. This is like the Teflon tubing. This is the cutting knife. This is the classic cutting knife. This is these guys. I might have to say it's pretty crazy. I got these plastic kitchen knives off of Amazon. I thought nothing about it, just got them because they were cheap. When I got them, they showed up like, these look great. These are actually really decent looking plastic kitchen knives. So the plan is, because I don't want to make a mess on my desk, what is some of these old school, these are a lot of this stuff I've learned from Dick Smith and Tom Savini's. This is a cutting knife. What you do back here is you have a tube I glued down, and you guys can't see there's a big hole here. And what you do is you would just, I would crimp the end of the hose. I would take some here, let me show you real quick here. I got some here. Is that you crimp the hose because you want to squirt blood out. So the gag is when you take the knife, you do this off camera, and this is the inside. You had blood, and you would take the knife like this, and you would start going like, you know, show that like from the front side of the camera, and you go like that, and as you're doing that, the blood's shooting out from the back side, and the blood would hit the edge, and you would cause the illusion that you're cutting somebody. And since it's a plastic knife, and the TV shows and movies, they take a real knife and just dull the crap out of it. They'll take a real kitchen knife and take it to a belt sander and take the edge off, so you have a still good looking metal knife, and you just go. So that is the blood, just doing the cutting. And then the classic, again, these are just all like quick inserts and stuff. You do the same thing with this. I have a tube here, it's here, with a bunch of little holes in there. And how I do it with a wood burner, I crimp them. I heat this up with a tube, heat the tube up, crimp it with some pliers, melt it together, and then you drill holes. Well, I took a wood burner, burn holes into it. And that's when you do this gag, where you have blood pumping. So you just have all these holes, and you just have blood. You pump in the tube, so you're doing this while the blood's, so it gives that illusion that you're cutting somebody wide open with blood. You're like, like you're cutting somebody's hand off. Oh, hi, Scully. It's the Scully Show. There she is. Hi, sweetheart. No, don't jump on the keyboard. So that is that gag. Then, show you guys really quick. Oh, sorry, guys. It's the Scully Show. All right, Scully, thank you. This, Jesus. Doing the blood stuff also. No, you can't get on the keyboard. Hold on, guys. I got to move the keyboard. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Scully, stop. Hold on, guys. I got to move the keyboard real quick because she'll jump on it and end our stream. All right. So, okay, where are they? This is a piece of foam I rigged up that has you guys can see that it's got tubing that have holes in. Same thing. I put a bunch of holes, and that is going to be stuck onto an actor's. You put, like in the show, they would glue this down on somebody's neck using Prozaid, and then you would apply an appliance. And this is a foam appliance that I made. This is just a piece of all right. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see. Nothing to see. This is Scully, and she is adorable. She is our adopted kitty. She used to be an outdoor kitty. We picked her up at the shelter, and now she is taken to me. I am her person. She's chose me. So no matter what I do, she stays with me at all times. So this is going to make it difficult to work in the shop and stream at the same time. So I had to put my keyboard underneath my table because she'll jump on that and cause chaos. So, all right, Scully, hold on for a second. Anyway, as I was saying, this would be glued to the person's neck, and then you would just put this appliance over it like this, and you would squeeze, and then of course this would give you, the blood would come pouring out of the neck. Okay, Scully, thank you. And then this is a headshot, I call it. This is a little, same thing, tubing crimped on the end, and I put a hole in it, and so when you pump water, it shoots out, and this will be strapped onto a head. So that's what I'm making these straps for. So I'm gonna be doing this at Scare City. I'll be there. I'm gonna be doing a panel on effects, and so this is one of the effects I'll be doing is this blood gag thing, and oh, Scully likes Velcro, right? Okay, Scully, hold on. So I'm gonna get me some glue here, and we're gonna take this guy. No, Scully, you can't eat that, please. Don't do that. All right, and I'm gonna glue this onto this some Velcro strapping just for the demonstration, so I can put this on somebody's on somebody's head. Here, hold on, Caddy. Let me see. All right. Oh, Scully, for Christ's sakes. Scully. So I figured you guys might as well just meet her because you're going to be seeing her a lot lately. She'll do this for a while. She is, we got her she's a 4-month-old, and by the time they get old enough, they'll eventually calm down. At least I think they will. But they're in kitty mode, and we got two. This is her brother, who is a kitten. He's an orange kitty. There you go. Got a little goop on this. So now I just got to take this and put this out here. Let's get this out of here really quick because Scully's just going to jump all over this. So let me set this aside. All right. Oh, hold on. Let's get this out of the way. Here, look at this, Scully. What's that? Go play with that. So, oh, toadies don't calm down. It's my wife keeps calling. Oh, I didn't realize these particular cats are called toadies. She is a toady, and apparently, I've been informed, Scully, that you will never calm down. Is that true, cat? Although she is adorable, I do. Okay. They won't calm down. Good to know. Oh, Butter Rose cosplay. I'm myself a big monster maker blood and new rim. Oh. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to catch up with chat and not be mauled by my cat. Hold on. You stop. Hold on. Where's my face cam? There you go. Sorry, guys. This cat will not calm down. There she is. All right, good. Let me catch up with chat. Rosa Gloria. I'm on my alternative account. I am Butter Rose cosplay. Oh, I got myself a big bottle of Monster Maker blood and a new Blood Rain blade. blades and blooding them. Oh, man, nice. Blood Rain. Now, Blood Rain. That's not a video game, right? Isn't it? Ouch! Will you stop chewing on me? This is. Oh, and also, guys, the pattern of the week is a dome pattern, which that dome pattern is actually a really good seller because it's just something simple dome. Like when making cosplay, I think in the beginning people struggled with ow. Why do you have to chew on me? I'm right here. Stop it. But she's like this only in the mornings. She gets really fired up in the mornings, runs around, wants to bite and chew and everything. And then she has to calm down for a little bit. She will eventually calm down. Yes, Kathy. She's like wants to be. So I have a kitty bed upstairs for her. So eventually, when she does calm down, she just likes to be in my vicinity. So I have a bed upstairs in my shop. So when I'm working, she'll calm down eventually, and she falls asleep in her bed, and then she'll stay up here as long as I'm up here. So I'm glad that she's. Yeah, this was the buy one get one free. We had an orange cat. My youngest Heather wanted a kitty, so she wanted an orange cat, and we're like, okay. But then they said, if you get one, you get one free. So we got. This was and she's awesome. But she likes to pull on power cords, and we have a fan downstairs plugged into the wall, and she gets the cord and pulls it out, so the fan will stop working in the middle of the night. Oh yes, that's a video game, and she's one of my favorite characters I wear. We are 2.0 with the costume after 12 years. A 2.0 blade after 10. And the old blades are cardboard, new ones are foam. It's so funny. Yeah, I have my Vampire Hunter D costume I built. I changed some things on it, and I'm realizing I love my Vampire Hunter D costume. The chest piece, I look at it, I can make it so much better now, and I'm thinking about going back and doing that. But looking at my website, I realized I have a Battle Sister costume I built, and my friend Dre Cosplay, I met last year at Anime LA last year. She is offered to wear it for me because we're going to go to a convention. We haven't locked on which convention yet, but I'm revamping the suit. I just need to have some garments, and so she's doing the fabric part, and she's doing the wig, and I'm repurposing the costume. I patched some things up on it and fixed some things up. And why don't you get in your bed, kitty? Get in your bed, you little maniac. And so I'm going to do that, and when doing that, we're going to get her in the costume, and then we're going to do some photo shoots and get some nice photographs of her in her armor, and then put those on the website. And I want to do another. I haven't made a costume. I made props and helmets out the wazoo. I haven't made a costume in a long time, and I want to get back to it. Oh. I'm working on my alien xenomorph, which you guys know I've been doing that on my live stream, and that was looking great. And then I had to stop on that too because of work and that movie job. You start on stuff, but I'm not. I used to be a multitasker a lot when I was younger, and not so much these days. But tell you what, while I'm thinking about it, let's get back to our piece here. This is the neck thingy, the blood tubing. Now what I want to do is I want to rig up a thing that you can wrap around your neck, and let's do that too. Let's do this with some contact cement, right? So if I do this, I want the soft facing inside so I don't rub people's skin wrong. Let's glue some strap. Oh, let's do some contact cement, shall we? Yes, I got some contact cement right here. Oop. The glue's a little on the thick side. That's fine. So I do like this. Put a little glue. Like that. Yeah, maybe you know something. Hold on. When you're doing straps, especially stuff like this, I've learned that when you're doing straps on something like that, you want to go a little bit longer than you need because if you do just a short spot, it's gonna fall off. So let's do. Let's see. Yeah, that's plenty long enough. Okay. Got that. And like that. All right. So there we go. Now, so this is gonna be the soft facing the inside. Oh, sorry. So we do this side. Oh, thank you, Floyd. That is actually the. Now my cat's going to bring my keyboard back. Yes, that was the Vampire Hunter D. Yep, that is correct. That was the Bloodlust. It was an animated. Turns out it was an animated TV series. I found out years later, after being a big fan of the show, it was an anime. It was a TV series. It was an animated series. I think it was a manga first, and then turned into an animated series, which was done in the 80s. When you watch it, it's a very you can tell by the anime, it's very 80s when they made it. But the story, and then it got popular, so they made a movie, an 80s movie, Vampire Hunter D. And then they ended up remaking it, and they changed his look, gave him his black outfit, and that one was called Bloodlust. That's another great one. But it's a great. That's when I was like, that's such a cool look, and he's a dumb peel, they called him, which is basically Blade, but they set it in a different alternate universe where monsters and creatures in their like these like small towns, and you'd hire vampire hunters and sorcerers and stuff and whatnot. And D himself was half man and half vampire, so he's a day walker. He could walk around during the day, and he had the ability, the same thing, but he quenched his thirst with something else, and he had I think they called him Lefty, that was a demon in his hand, which I thought was just the premise is such a great this creature, this guy that kept him in check was his demon in his left hand that would talk to him, and I just fell in love with that. I thought it was such a great idea. Oh, laundry calls, Ted. I will chat and watch the reply for sure. They keep testing. Well, they keep teasing Vampire D is back, and excited thinking it's a novel, manga, or a movie. Yeah, what is their Rose Gloria? Is that a Rose? There's no or. There's no L, Ted. Goria, Rose Goria, Rose Goria, Goria, Rose Goria, right? Rose Goria. They were firing up a comic book. There are these guys that really wanted to. Yeah, left hand's a parasite. That's right. I know my parasite. I haven't always been. That's right. He's a parasite, and he he feeds. Like there's a thing where he can draw. But anyway, there's a great scene where the parasite tells D that he's been in the sun too long and he has to rest, and he keeps pushing. He's like, hey man, you're gonna push yourself. You're gonna push yourself, and so he has to bury himself in the dirt to recharge. It's just I love it. It's if you guys haven't seen it, it's such a good one. It's Bloodlust. And when they're making the costume, I realized, like in the anime, his hat is like the bill of his hat is the same as the width of his shoulders, which I end up downsizing things, but I loved the look, and I had the shoulders and the spikes and all that stuff, and the just chest piece, but I'm looking at it, and the only drum I had somebody build a bodysuit for me, and it's just too large, and like I'm even big, but it sags everywhere. It's not tight like I wanted to be, and so I want to have the bodysuit. It needs to be taken apart and restitched, and that's going to cost money. So somebody do it for me, because it needs a lot of work. Anyway, let's do. Hold on. I put some contact cement on both these guys. Sunlight syndrome. That's what it is. Sunlight syndrome. Oh yeah, Gundam. When you're doing neck gags, things like this, you go really big. You try to do something small, never looks right. I just made this for a demonstration, but usually when they're doing prosthetics like a neck, they go all the way around. They completely cover the neck, and just because you're hiding on the chin line, and you're doing down the collarbone, it's a lot easier to do this. So therefore, when you do that, you make a big one, and then you can have the actor. So when they lean their head back, it opens. When they lean their head back, like this. So when they lean their head back, it pulls it open. This is, I cut it crooked too. I should have cut it straight. But anyway, this is just upholstery. I took some upholstery foam. I have a head cast of myself. I laid it down, put latex on it, spray glued, laid this foam on top of it, and then put latex on top of that, let that dry, peeled it off, and then so I made that kind of like poor man, quickie neck thing I made. So, and this is, I just threw it together so the demonstration. Blood Rain is a we have fascination with our vampire heroes. Yes, Tom Savini style. You are correct. Tom Savini did the classic film Friday the 13th, the horror movie, and he did. People don't realize when they made Friday the 13th, it was low budget. I mean, super low budget. And these guys that made it were kind of like they had a kind of general idea what they wanted to do, and they were kind of like, here we go, hoping for the best. And they said that was back in the days when you shot film. You didn't know what you had until you had it developed. So they always had their fingers crossed, and they'd shoot someone and get it back and watch the dailies. And so Tom Savini was on that. And Tom Savini was like, hey man, I have an idea. Like, let's have the killer kills the kid in a bunk bed by stabbing him through the bunk bed. and that was Kevin Bacon, a very young Kevin Bacon, and he was laying on the bed, and they had an arrow poked through his neck. And what Tom did was, they did a life. Kevin Bacon laid down. They did a life cast of his neck and torso, and made a foam rubber one with fiberglass underskin. And so Kevin Bacon, they had a bunk bed, and they put a hole in it. So Kevin just got in and put his head through the bunk bed like that, and they had the fake chest and neck, and they blended into him. So basically, it was Kevin Bacon, and from here down, was all fake, and Tom got underneath there with very little room. They'd get it back to Kevin, and they'd have the arrowhead poked through his throat, and so you see the hand grab him. It was first the hand grab, and then they cut to the quick shot of the knife, the arrow coming through. And so the tricky part is, like, for me personally, when you watch it, I can see it, but on a quick cut, you can't really tell. But so that's the gag where it pokes the arrow. And so as a kid, watching the movie, I was blown away. So when they did it, I'm like, wait, what? So it's so quick. Board head shot, yeah, that's what it is. That's right, Kevin. The board head. Cooked bacon. Get it? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah, that was the gag. That one, and my other favorite one was the in Dawn of the Dead with the shopping mall, and the motorcycle gangs, they break into the mall and they're driving around and causing chaos. Guy gets yanked off his bike, which is played by Tom Savini. He's a biker. He gets knocked off the bike, and he's like, "You creep!" And he pulls a machete off, and he sticks it in this zombie head. And when they did the gag, it was instead of a fake head, they used the actor, and they took a machete and they cut it like I do with this knife right here. They just took a big machete and cut this out of the shape's guy's head, and they put it in like this, and they'd call action. They go, and they pull out really quick. And then what they do is they play the film in reverse, so they go, so you would see that, like, when you watch it, it looks like it's going. If you do it really fast, it's like you just go. You see the knife out of frame. Get the arm. You go. Bam! Like, just looks like the knife is coming off frame really fast. Bam! And the only way to achieve that without hurting somebody is you just do it in reverse. So they'd have it showed up close like this, and they'd pull it really fast. So the blur of it coming in. Not only was the gag, I think, that Robert Englund himself, he could pull it off. Well, here's the thing with Freddy Krueger, guys. It's that it was made in the 80s. I just have this beef with them trying to make a movie of that time. It worked for that time. Like, make something new. They keep jumping on these old IPs. I said that's because it worked in that time of people. The world was different back then. We were different. The kids were different. Everything's different. This generation's different. That's why Obsession did really well, because it was made by young people of this time, like a 2026. This guy who made that movie knew his audience, and he knew what they liked and how smart they were, and how he can move things. Like, it's like that's how you learn to make a movie. You know, these guys, let's take something from the, like, dude, it was a different time. If you're going to make something different. It's not going to work. So, yeah, that's my beef. They keep trying to just stop making old shit. Make something new. And, like, everybody keeps trying to, I know, like, there was some guy on YouTube who made this little bit of a rant video about, like, Alien Romulus and how everybody loves it so much. He goes, yeah, because it's a remake of the original Alien movie. And it is. And I laugh because, like, he was moaning that as soon as they do something original or try to do something different, Nobody likes it. And I thought, I know where he's coming from, but I disagree, because the reason, it's like, if you want to do something different, that's fine. You can make just because something's different doesn't make it good. They're making stuff that was different, but it was just done badly. They're just crappy movies. Alien 3 was bad. It was just a bad movie. Like, I know they tried to do something different, but they outlined the story. You take these two iconic characters, Newt and Hicks, and you kill them off. And the reason they killed them off because they couldn't think of anything to do with them or how to write them in, and they didn't want to pay the actors. They're just being cheap, so they just killed them off. That's what Hollywood does. That's the way they save money, by killing characters. You know, I set that for set. Hold on, I got to go back and set my alarm. Anyway, but so like, oh, you know, they're you know, people want original stuff, and they're like, no, you're taking an IP and trying to do something original with it. Like Terminator. Terminator was good. You made 1 and 2, developed great movies, and then James Cameron didn't own the property of it. He didn't own the film, so as soon as he left, they got somebody else to direct 3, and it was garbage. 3 was just a remake of T2 with a girl in it. And it was bad. And people were like, oh, it was good. Like, oh, it had an edgy ending. Like, no, it didn't. It had a crappy ending. It was horrible. It was a crappy film. And it did badly because it was a crappy movie. It wasn't because they were trying to do something original and everybody just wants the same thing over and over again. It was just a bad movie. It's like, stop giving credit to bad films because they're doing something different. It wasn't different. It was bad. Like... yeah, people look back on things like, oh, you know. Rose says YouTubers are killing in the box office with horror movies this year. Yeah, Iron Lung, Obsession, Backrooms. Yeah, because the guys know their audience. They're making what they want to make. And it's like Iron Lung. Here's the thing with Iron Lung. I support that guy 110%. The movie, not really my cup of tea. I know it's based on a game I know nothing about. And when watching it, I was super duper confused because there's a lot of stuff that you have to know going in to watch that movie. And I'm like, and my buddy's like, oh, he started telling me this. I'm like, really? You got that? I didn't get any of that from that movie. It's just, but I went to the theater and paid money to see it because I wanted to support that guy because he's the part. And also same with Backrooms. Backrooms, not my cup of tea. I watched it. I got it. I enjoyed it, but I got it. Halfway through, I was kind of like, I know where it's going. I get it. Like, But again, not the demographic. And it did well. Fantastic. I support that. The film I did like was Obsession. I thought it was the best film out of the bunch. And that's why it's doing really well. And also, the guy was smart. He hooked up with a production company. He didn't hook up with A24, who only does American distribution. He hooked up with another company that does international. So he got his American money, and it's going to go international. So he's going to make even more money. So... And he's got what he wanted. He did what all directors want. You get that one big hit, and that gets your foot in the door with studios, and then you can go, okay. Then, with that momentum and weight, you can negotiate a deal. And I'm sure he's like, okay, I'm doing this, but here's my rules. Here's my deal. You want me, I need complete control. I want to work with this guy and work with this guy. Like, you can start picking your people. Because usually in the old days, studio goes, hey, we want a young director, and they take a young director and then make him direct, and they give him all these notes and tell him all the stuff he can do and can't do. And that's why these guys don't go anywhere. This guy got it. Like, what's this guy have to do to impress me? I can't remember his name. But anyway, he's able to negotiate his deals. Kevin, yeah, Backrooms is great. I would catch it. Wait till it's streaming. I don't think you need to see it in the theater. After 2, I went downhill, like with Batman. Kung Fury 2. Kung Fury. Oh yeah, I don't think we need to see another Kung Fury. I love the phone guy and Obsession. Yeah, it's it's the independent movement now, and I love it because Hollywood's crumbling. How do I know? I work in it, and I'm lucky to be working. I have friends who are super talented that are not working anymore, and they have to move and get out of this town because there's nothing anymore for them. and especially people who are like crafters and set builders, wardrobe, catering services, like there's all these stuff that people used to work steadily in television shows. It's all gone now. It's all gone. All gone. All downsized. All right, hold on, guys. I think this is dry enough. Let me stick this on here. This is, yeah. Put this strappy thing here. Like that. Fantastic. This is, I'm making this for a demonstration for how to do blood gags, and in the shows and movies they do makeup. So this is the way to do quick makeup. So I take this guy like this, and take the strap. You said you see it, but you're not seeing it. If you're not, you're missing out. Oh, which one? I've seen, see, you lean back a little bit. See, when this is glued, you can kind of lean back. This opens up. Ooh, that's tight. So I'm doing this, and I'm wondering, I'd like to do, I might do the same thing with this too, is have a strap, because I want to show people the gag, then put this on them, and then put the skin on top of that, and then have it. So I want to show them the steps, because it's all part of a panel. I want to show them through it. What am I not seeing? I agree. The reboots of horror movies that don't work because the horror is medium is so common in fears of that time period. Yes, Rosa, you are correct. It's yeah, because it's like when they did Nightmare, it worked perfectly for that time when it came out. And then I think Nightmare and Elm Street, their best film is 3 Dream Warriors, where the kids get into like therapy and they learn how to control their dreams, and they start fighting Kung Fury. Kung Fury, is that the one where Kung Fury? It was a guy that made this super low budget film, and he cut in footage from other movies, right? Like he used old Chinese action films and cut in bits and pieces with him in it. Like, it was kind of an experiment. Like, I worked this thing with Steve Wayne. We did this thing called Kung Fu Rascals, which was great. But Kung Fury, this guy did it like on a shoestring budget and whatnot. And it came and left. I remember. Here's the thing. I got it because people have been doing that for years, using footage. You just get footage that's so old, it's like public domain. So he took public domain footage and cut it together with his stuff. But I do remember that. Yeah. I thought it was okay. Oh no, that's okay. No, Kung Pao. Okay, good. Okay, we're not talking about the same thing. Good. Because I thought Kung Pao was like, not that great. I thought Kung Pao was kind of garbage, basically. But Kung Fury. Oh, wait a minute. Kung Fury, the guy who's a commercial. Yes, I was an investor on that. I'm sorry. Kung Fury is a great thing. I invested in that. He made it, got all these actors in it, and they shelved it because he had some corrupt producers. Yes. Now, I'm sorry. Kung Fury is fantastic. This guy that shot that movie, yes, I remember that. And finally, I think somebody finally had the balls to say, hey, let's release the trailer. And they did. The trailer is amazing. And when you find out, they got him in some kind of loophole, because this is what happens when you deal with shady producers and guys. That's what happened to, there's a lot of movies where these shady producers come in and go, oh yeah, we want to finance your film. And they basically use it to basically launder money and steal money. That's what happened with Total Recall. I know you guys don't know about it, but Total Recall, there was a lot of money on that movie that did not go to screen because these guys, Paul Verhoeven had these shady producer guys, and like pocketed a lot of that money, so a lot of that money didn't go to screen. So that's why Total Recall has its moments, but in the visual effects aspect of it, it got kind of screwed. So yeah. Yes, so Kung Fury, I saw it, and he had a Kickstarter years ago when he made a little teaser thing, and I laughed my ass off. I said, yeah, fine. So I invested. I'm one of the investors, and so he sent me little video clips like, hey, here's what we're doing. Like, I was on his mailing list. So for a while there, he did it, and it turns out through all that stuff, he got financing and finally got money to make a second film. He did it, and then you get these other guys. Because what happens is you raise... This is how the games play. Like, you can't single-handedly raise the money by yourself. So you raise like 100,000 or 200,000 or 300,000. They're like, that's not enough. So you get enough money to show people you have investors, and then the other guys come in and go, oh yeah, so we'll give you 8,000. So they're a bigger. So you get this, and you get all these money from different producers, and you get to all together, and you roughly have like about $2 or $3 million to make your movie. And then all it takes is one of those jerk heads to go, me, you're not doing this, we want that, and so, well, technically it's still our movie, so we're not going to give you that money until you pay us. So I think what happened was he did some visual effects, and so they still need X amount of money to finish the visual effects, and so the movie's basically done, all the stuff's shot, they're just waiting on some effect shots, and the producer's like, well, we didn't get our money, so we're not going to lock the film up. So they're like, well, you can't get your money back, and you're not putting money up because you have no faith in it, so it's frozen. So they sit on it. So your movie's not making any money, but they claim that they want their money to be paid. So where's the money coming from? Like, well, and so what it is that they said basically it's bullshit. They're doing this to hold the film hostage so they can get their money. Yes, 10 million. Yeah, they're like, we want our 10 million. And they refuse to give it, and you can't spend it, and so they won't release the movie. So it's deadlock. And this kid, and because I did not realize, and then when they released the trailer, my heart just collapsed for the director, because he made this film and all these fans were waiting, but legal-wise, he can't really go on and talk about it. He can't do it because I think he's contracted to not talk shit. So he can't go on social media and go, hey, these shitheads locked me up. So he can't do anything. So by them releasing the trailer, got some momentum. So I think I know, like, Arnold's in it. There's all these big actors, which to me, I'm like, come on, Arnold. Like, you guys got money. I think between Arnold and a couple of the actors that are in the movie could probably raise the money and just give it to him so he could finish it and be done with it. It always kills me when rich guys, here's the thing with rich people, it drives me nuts, is that rich people are the people that don't tip. This is what would crack me up. Rich people don't tip. They're the worst at tipping. It's like they're always the ones being the diva, the people that have the money. And like this is a woman I saw on TikTok. I'm like, she does fundraisers and raises and does events and things. She said that what makes things funny is that rich people never are tight with food. Like, you go to their house, like people that are like middle of the class to poor class always have friends over. There's food everywhere. There's always food. She goes, you go to rich people's events, they're like, oh yeah, don't go to the fridge. Like, there's never any food out because they're cheap. And I thought, that's so true. Rich people are cheap. They're rich because they're cheap. They save all their money. They're constantly obsessed with money, so they don't spend it frugally. So, and that's the irony. The people that have the money that could do it don't do it. So, like, you got people like Arnold, these guys who are they're actually make cameos in the movie, like, and $10 million these guys is pocket change. But they won't do it because, because then, well, if I do that, then there's all they have in their own head, their own rules, because this is why they're rich, because they can't move the investments or move that. Oh, Michael Fassbender, and yeah, they're both huge. Yeah, Michael Fassbender, Arnold's in it. Fassbender, John Wick got saved by an actress. Michael Fassbender. Oh yeah, John Wick was Eva Longoria, like Eva Longoria, the actress. She's good friends with Keanu Reeves. They were getting ready to make John Wick, the first one. And when the investors pulled out, and it was like $7 million. Like, and they're freaking out, like, and they weren't ready to go and roll this film. They couldn't because when their investors pulled out, so they're like freaking out because they could not do that film anything less than what they already had. So Eva Longoria said, "Hey, look, what is it? 7 million or something? What it was? Good chunk of change for her, you know." She put up the money for it so they could make John Wick. So she became a shareholder in that movie because of her investment. So the movie blew the frick up. So Eva Longoria now is an owner of the IP of John Wick. So now that movie's made what? Millions? And she gets a paycheck from all the John Wick movies. With anything that says John Wick on it, she gets a cut of that because she invested. So it's called risk and returns. Everybody wants the return, but they don't want the risk. So the guys don't want to risk on Kung Fury, which is heartbreaking. It looks like a great, fun, wacky movie. Kung Fury 2, it's basically done. They still want to spend $10 million on the effects. And if they did, the thing would make so much money. Tell you what, if they did Kung Fury in a theater, if they finally got that thing done and released it in a theater, which they should, that kid could do that. Kid that played in the theaters, he'd make his money. Oh, he'd make their money. People would go ballistic. I would love to see it in a theater. That's how you invest. It's risk and reward, man. My buddy John Soares making this film. We want to get it done. He's struggling. It's great. I just helped my friend on his Space War, not Space Wars, Starfire Squadron, and he did it. He financed it himself. He invested some money. His dad, unfortunately, passing, and then he had some property they sold, and he got enough money. He's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to self-finance my movie. I thought, do it, dude. And so I jumped on board and helped him. So I made costumes and props for the show. And I did it, I did it a little bit below my rate, which I don't think I'll ever do again. Because it was a lot of work. But I did it. I don't really have a share in it. But in the sense of, I didn't invest as much as I just invest my time, but because I got paid. So if something good comes out of it and he makes more money, good for him. My investment is in him as a director, knowing that if he does more films down the road, he'll hire me back. That was pretty much my investment. I didn't really do any like banking aspects of the show. I just invested my time and my energy. So therefore, as friends, if anything comes from him again, he'll bring me back. So that's how I invested. I'm back when I missed. Sorry, Jesse, we're not repeating ourselves. You're going to have to watch this video later. It's too risky to invest, yet people demand it. Hollywood bad. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to Scare City, and this thing is run by Dewey, and Dewey wants to make a horror movie, and he put me into it because he knows I work on a lot of movies. And so he's wanting my input and my investments. But the thing is, right now, I'm going to have a little sit down with him this next weekend because I know he's going to want to talk about this movie. And I have a lot of ideas. But one thing I'm going to tell him, nobody's going to work for a back end. I know a lot of people are like, hey, man, we promise them this or promise them that or give them a part. Like they'll show up and I'm like, you want to get paid up front. You're not going to get talented people. The way to shoot a low-budget horror movie is get good people, talented people, and pay them and just shoot fast. That's not what you want to hear, but you're not going to get, you can pull in so many favors with your friends, but when making a movie is that you've got to get experienced crew because I shot my movie Guardian, and when I shot Guardian of the Realm, when I shot that here in LA because I made all my connections here. And I had a really good director of photography, I had a good lighting crew, and I had a good talented makeup people, and I had actors. I hired actors. I had a couple of actors. I had a couple lead actors who actually knew how to act, and then we got the rest. Although I did know Lana was my lead, she never acted before, and it was a bit of a struggle for her, but we were able to pull it off. But you always want to hire experienced people. CEO with no talent. Hey, Ted, I miss watching these, but work has been heavy. Dude, Sean, listen to me. Don't apologize because I'm in the same boat you have, brother. I've been working, and that's why I haven't been making videos because I've been working. So I've been doing this. Here's my thing: is I was wanting to get back to making my videos and making my content again, but I've been working. So I made a pact to myself that every Sunday I do live streams to keep myself current, let people know that I'm still alive and around, and that what I'm working on. So that's what I'm in. So I'm kind of really busy. So I had this convention booked already a while back. So when they hit me up for this job, I had to tell them, oh yeah, I can do this job. I just got to fly out on Friday, do this thing, come back. And I'm happy to report that I'll be working on season 3 of Fallout, and I am going to go to set with what I'm making, which is cool. Do you ever get the rights to Guardian? Yes, we did, Neil. We do have the right. Well, here's the thing. We have the rights to it. My producers in St. Louis, Pirate Pictures, they took the movie Wyatt, who's basically was also a co-writer and I think associate producer on this thing too. He helped me with this film. That he took it, went back, and we cleaned everything up on it digitally, and he redid effects, and we were able to get a cut. He asked me like, hey, would you like to cut things out of it, like, or fix things up? I'm like, yes. So they gave me the opportunity to go back and do some cutting, editing on it. We did that, and so they redigitized it, made a new disc, and we put extra features on it. We did a little behind the scene thing on it, which is fun. And now I'm just like, I was hoping they'd re-release it, and I keep telling them I think they have it. I'd love them to make it available so you guys could buy it. And I talked to them about it, and they're like, yeah, and they just haven't done it yet. So I don't know. I want to promote it, but here's the deal. You can get this on video right now. I'm telling you, I don't want a dime from it. I don't want a dime. My producers, Bob and Scott, invested. They put the money in it, and we got screwed by Think Films. And of course, they had it for a while. They didn't promote it, put it out there, and put it in debt. Gone. And the company collapsed. It's bankrupt. The company's bankrupt. It doesn't exist anymore. So we got our movie back. Now that we have the movie back, I want them to put it out there and sell it and make money back from the movie they invested in. And I already did my part. I got a film under the belt. I got a movie with my name on it that I directed and did, and got to be production designer on it. Although they didn't give me that credit, I wanted that credit, but I didn't get it. But I wanted to be production designer on that. I designed the look of the film, everything, book costumes, props, everything on the show. But point being was, I'd love them to sell it, and I can get the film back out, the version that I love, that I like. I don't want to promote the one that Think Films did, because they distributed it badly. They did a terrible cover on it, and when they transferred the video over, they didn't color correct anything. It looks like garbage. Brian goes, when I get to work tomorrow, my first person to piss me off will be called jerkhead. I like saying jerkhead. My new word for annoying coworkers, jerkhead. Okay, jerkhead. Jerkheads. I may not be the same one with the Klingon sounding name. Jerkhead. Jerkhead it is then. Alright, I'm back. Jerkhead. Did I say jerkhead? Jerkheads? I'm just trying to keep it my cursing on YouTube to a minimum. Yeah, guys, this hasn't been much of a build. These last couple of videos have been just me talking and ranting with you guys, because I miss hanging out with you guys so much. But this blood gag thing is going to be work. Yeah, my plan is I'm going to do this thing that you put on, but I want to make the blood thing also be a strap underneath as well too, so we could strap this to the person as a demonstration, and you put the appliance over this, and you do the blood. Yeah, so. Jerk store. Man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for them in that name. Such cruel parents, right? All right. Is this long enough? Let me see. Is this long enough to wrap this around the neck? Yes, cut this too. Let's cut this strip too. All right, hold on, guys. Cut this down. My scissors. We'll do that. We'll strap that, and we'll strap the tubing thing too. We love just hanging out with you too. I know, but guys, it's like I want to make content for people to watch and sell patterns and bring people to my channel. But me just babbling sometimes it's fun. I'll see you guys fun on Twitch. You guys are watching us on twitch.tv/eviltedsmith. Thank you so much for watching over there as well. If you guys don't know, I simulcast on YouTube and Twitch at the same time to keep relevant, because I've been working and not putting out, doing videos and patterns like stuff. And I'd like to get back to, I look at my website, it hasn't changed in years. And it's like, good grief. I know Peter, my assistant, wants to change the website, and I really don't want to, because every time you change something, it just gets glitchy, and something happens, and then you get a bazillion emails, and people who have had their accounts or their patterns saved are lost, and it just causes a bunch of chaos. So, and nobody can guarantee me that's not going to happen. So, because apparently it's all done through WordPress, and he doesn't like WordPress, but the website needs to be updated, and I think I have some people that can do it, and I'm going to talk to them about it. So. All right. Sunday Foam Talk. We just anyway. So yeah, I got this strip here, and this gonna be plenty long enough to cut this in half. Fold this in half like this, and I will glue this to this thing right here, and we'll do the same thing. We're just gonna do some. Here, take these syringes off. And I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to Sunshine City Scare, because it's a little bit different than what we normally do, because this is a horror convention, and the panel I'm going to be doing is kind of just like simple, it's like effects gags, but just simple things that people don't really realize that that I learned when I was a kid, and I liked them. I knew how to do them. I just never really applied them. So, oh, really quickly, my friend John Suarez, who's doing his Eon Blade movie, has some potential investors and producer people. So he is in talks with them right now. They're a distributing company, and they're interested in his film, which I think is wise. So, what he's got so far looks really good. I just wanted to get this thing done. So. And all right. So I'm just putting some contact cement on these pieces here, so I can put this on the foam. Because yeah, I want to do the workshop or panel and show people how things are done, so they can, because it's kind of catered to horror movies and whatnot. And Dewey again wants to make this film, and but I think there's things I have concerns. The more I think about it, that like it's going to be a problem. Good to hear. No updates so far. Hope he doesn't get screwed over. Here's the thing with John. I've learned really quickly with John. He has had people offer him millions of dollars. Like, hey, and he it's like they want this money, but they want all these controls. And they basically, when he does the research, it's like they just want him, they say, well, you can do this, but you have to pay us back. Like, it's all the stuff that they set up to where they want to give you all this money, but then when the film comes out, they get all the money back and you get nothing. And he's like, that's not what I want, man. It's like, I put this much work, I own this much of it. You're only paying for this portion of this film. And so basically what it was, yeah, this is all these loopholes and stuff. And when he realized it's all money laundering, it's just, and Okay, here you go. Again, sorry guys, I'm gonna get on my soapbox for a minute. The reason Hollywood has crumbled, a lot of it is, well, first of all, because they don't want to pay anybody. They're like the billionaires right now. Like, everything's becoming more and more expensive to do, but yet the people that get paid to do the work gets less and less and less because they're hoarding all the money. Hollywood hoards all the money. They don't distribute it. They don't keep it. And so when you sign a film deal, you have all these actors and you got all these guys and you have the actors has agents. Every time you get an actor, the actor has an agent. The agent needs his cut and his publicity person needs their cut. So these actors you get cost you a lot of money because you're not just getting the actor, you're getting the actor, you're getting their wardrobe person, their makeup person. They don't just get makeup. Oh no, because they're big actors, you have to bring their makeup person. So you get all these people associated with that. And then you get all these unions and this and that to protect everybody. So it gets expensive. And then with LA is the permits. These guys it's a non-profit called Film LA. They're the biggest freaking crooks. They just charge you out the wazoo for nothing, for half the stuff. And you know, these permits, and it's like, so they did it. They pushed all the work out of LA. You can scream at the producers in Hollywood, but you can scream at Film LA, the non-profit hit in Los Angeles, who screws everybody trying to shoot an independent movie. If you look at what they want for money and what they want, you're going to shoot here? Well, you need a fire marshal. Like I'm not doing pyro. Well, it doesn't matter. You need a fire marshal there. Or you can't shoot in your own property. Wait, you want to shoot in your property? That's $900. Like, wait a minute, I'm shooting on my own place. Oh no, you have to pay us $900 to shoot in your own property. Yeah, it's mafia, the mob, and they don't, and they won't get it needs to be audited. Their contract needs to be audited. Their contract needs to be audited. People need to go through it, and that's why finally they went before they stamp. It's a couple of years ago. They had a 5-year contract, and people took it to court and fight and said, "Hey, we want to audit on this contract because it's not up to date. It's a lot of stuff they're asking for is ridiculous." So, but they rubber stamped it anyway because the judges are like, "Well, if we do that, then people won't be able to shoot here in LA. They won't have any permits." Like. Or you could just look at it and re-audit and call out and have it redone because it's garbage. But they won't redo the contract. So, anyway. Bunch of mobsters. Anyway. So, with that being said, push all the work out of LA. So that's why they're shooting in England, Canada, New York. New York's got great deals right now. Yeah. Everywhere is cheap. Everywhere's cheap. It's as I think Matt Damon said, it's whack-a-mole because they always go where it's cheaper. And then when it was Atlanta, remember Atlanta? They go, Atlanta's cheap. So after a while, Atlanta was like, hey man, you guys are screwing us over. You're not really paying. You promised us all this money and all this stimulation and stuff, but we're not getting it. We're giving you guys these incentives, but we're not making really any money here because you still hire stuff from outside. And so they're like, and they start raising the rates. So everybody packed up, they moved. So that's what happened to Atlanta. So Atlanta has these giant warehouses that Spielberg built, Warner Brothers built. They built these big warehouses out there. Oh, Atlanta. So they built all these big sound stages, and now they're just ghost towns. They're empty because they want to get paid. People are like, hey man, we're tired of getting screwed over. They just move. That's what happened. So LA eventually, and I see all these TikTokers, LA's coming back and the film incentives. No, it is. It's all too late, guys. It's all done. It'll never be back the way it was. That's why independent film movement. But again, the downside with independent film movement is that us seasoned professionals are used to getting a particular rate. So when you work on a low budget independent film like one I just did, there's no money. They don't have the money they used to have. So I got to work, but I have to work at a lower rate because it's an independent movie. Again, I support the independent movie, but it's not great for me making money for my family. That's why I do this and do conventions and do YouTube content and what else I can do. I'm still juggling, trying to come up with ways to make income. When I do work, I get paid well. I won't lie. I like the jobs I do. And when the shows I'm working on, there's a chunk of change I make, which is decent. But the problem with that is that I only work, when they hire me, they only need me for a particular job. It's not like they need me all the time. Like, here's something happening that involves Ted's skills. So they hire me in for a particular project on a show that involves my skills. So I come in and do that, and of course I'm good. My wife teases me that I'm fast. I'm good and I'm fast. So I do it, and then I'm out of a job because my job's done. And then I'm out of work. That's on the next thing. And my wife says, you got to work slower. And I said, well, if I work slower, they won't hire me back. That is why they hire me, because I'm good and I'm fast. Like, I don't know if you guys saw, I posted these wine barrels I made for Tulsa Kings. It was a gag where they had these these big giant full wine barrels, and there's a gag. They kick the wine barrels, they come rolling down on top of these guys and kill them for the show. So we needed 6 of them, and they're like, wait, I think they originally made them out of vacuum formed plastic because they didn't tell them what they're doing with them. They just thought they needed fake wine barrels, and the guys said, we can't drop these on stunt people. I'm like, wait, we need them out of foam. So they came back. And so they called me up, and I came out and knocked out 6. And I did them in about 3 days because the time turnaround was quick, and they had to shoot with them because they lost time. So I definitely saw them. Oh, you guys did see the post about it? Bunch of junkheads. Junkheads. But here's the thing, guys. Let's see, I got 60. I turned 63 this year. I'm turning 63. So I got 64, 65, 66, 67. I got 4 years, guys. I got 4 years till I retire. Now, when I mean retire, I don't mean retire from work. I mean, so I can start getting my retirement money. So once I hit that age, I can get my retirement money and continue to work. And by that time, the administration we have right now will crumble and be falling apart, because it is right now. Foam potatoes. So what I'm going to do is start getting my retirement, and I can start working. So every time I make the money, I won't get taxed. Because if you retire early and you're still working, then you can't. So I want to retire, and so the magic age, which is going to be like, it was like 63 or 65, but they keep moving the needle. I swear to God, they better not move that needle in the 4 years that hit my retirement. Because we are, as a species, we're living longer as human beings. So they keep moving the needle because we're not. People, when I was a kid, I just watched Jaws. My wife loves Jaws. So we were watching Jaws again on TV. And there's this couple at the beach with their kid. And they're like in their 40s. And God, they look like crap. Because back then, in the 70s, when people were in their 40s, looked like they were in their 60s or 70s. And that's just what we were. Like, we didn't know anything as genetically. Also, we didn't know anything about health or fitness, because you had the food chart involved meat and potatoes and eggs to eat daily is a good thing. Like, yeah, so very funny. But anyway, so we're living longer. So by the time I hit my retirement, I better not move that needle. I'll be freaking pissed. Look at my garbage. I just moved my garbage can. Oh, Brian goes, I got 7 years. Dude, I know. I got my 4. Strapping in, baby. The thing is, for me personally, it's going to be a little bit of a relief, because I'm always working to keep the ship afloat. And even though I'm going to get my, Brian goes, the government is just the same. Yeah. It's just to keep, so therefore it will take a load off my chest a little bit. I mean, it's not like I'm not gonna be able to go wee and kick it and retire and take trips or anything like that. It just means I can worry about food and rent. We'll have food and rent. But that, I still have to work. That tells you what my retirement and how we got screwed over, because you're not supposed to work anymore. You're supposed to retire. But the retirement money I'll be making will not be enough to pay rent and food, which is ridiculous. So until the shackles come off. I don't know what you guys' retirement investments are, but yep. I just wish not to perish in the muddy trench. Yep. Freedom. I think, is the glue dry? Oh, it is. It's here. Okay, so. Sorry, guys. It's just been ranting here today. It's a rant day. Every day has been, these last couple of streams, guys, have been nothing but a rant day. So, hold on. See, got that. And there we go. See? So the plan is I take this tubing and we put this on the person's neck. Yeah, this probably doesn't need to be this long, Ted. Here. Let's let's chop off a couple of this, a little bit too long here. There we go. That's better. So you put this tubing in the person's neck. That's the plan. And we take this guy and we take this neck thing, neck appliance. And you could, I guess you try to line up the tubes as best we can. And then, which the fear is that I'm going to do this and the water's just going to run behind it. But you want to get it so to where the blood shoots out of here and then runs out the neck. So again, when I'm doing this demonstration, I'll be doing water. I'll be doing water, not blood. I have for the hand stuff and stuff, I'll show blood. But when you're doing stuff on the neck and head, it's just gonna make a mess. So I'm just gonna do it with water. Show people the gag. Sorry for pulling you the route. Good to hear. All right, sorry. Gotta get this thing off my neck. Anyway, so that's all my tube gags, and it's gonna be going to Sunshine City Scare, which is gonna be exciting. It is St. Pete is actually a nice part of Florida. It's basically where the posh people live, because you can tell it's got money, lots of money in that area. But I'm looking forward to this trip. Jay goes, I thought the tubing was going to be attached to. Well, here's the thing, Jesse. Normally in movies you attach it to the piece, because I'm doing a demonstration. I'm showing kids how to do it and how it usually works, and move, like how they would first put that on and then put the tubing in there. You know what? Thanks. Oh, goes, hey Ted, thanks to start my day at VegasCon. hey, bring it through. Have fun, man. It's Sunday's your last day. I had a good time there. They're not going to bring me back because I wanted money. I guess they're expecting me to do this for free, I guess. No, I went back. What it was is they wanted me to fill in. There was somebody who was going to judge a costume contest, and they dropped out. And Gina, this girl I know that runs it, she was like, hey, are you available? And it was like, yeah, it was like $2,000. Like, I'm like done for like a day at work. So what it literally was a day. They flew me out. As soon as I landed, I judged that costume contest, and I actually was flying back the next day. Like, they brought me in and kicked me out. I'm like, well, dude, I'd like to stay. Give me a booth. I'll set everything up. And so when I got out there, people were like, oh, this is great, Ted. Where's your booth? I said, I don't have a booth. They didn't give me a booth. But apparently, they didn't think that was important, and they didn't want me. So everybody liked having me there, but apparently the guys that run the convention didn't think that was relevant. So they're like, nope. They did not have the need to bring me back. And they reached out to me again and said, hey man, would you come back out here again? I said, yeah, but here's what I'm not going to do. Well, I said I told him I'd come to a deal. I said I'll do it for the same price. Cause I usually do something locally. I charge more than that. But I said for the weekend, I said give me a weekend. I'll come out for the entire event for the same price. So you'll get a deal on me, and I'll have a booth. And they're like, nah, we're good. They just kicked me to the curb. I'm like, all right. So conventions, the guys that run the creation cons, or who the guys that run they're the same company that run Supernatural, and the guys that run Supernatural conventions. I think they're the same guys that run Buffy, Creation Con. They run Supernatural and Star Trek. They're the biggest money grubbers, I swear. These guys or something. Just ridiculous. All right. Well, I don't know about you, but I got to complete the futuristic Sonic, Tail, and Knuckle mashup soon. All right, Daniel, you got it. Jerkheads. Greedy, man. Where's the thing with conventions? I'll tell you what. The convention boom. I remember when I started my YouTube channel. The convention boom, I call it, because conventions and cosplay was blowing up, and everybody wanted to start a con. There's these cons popping up left and right, and it was very funny because there was a convention. They wanted me. I can't remember. They wanted me to come out. There was 2 cons, and I signed up. Like, they wanted a contract. I was like, excuse me. There was a contract that they wanted from me. And part of the deal was, if you do this con, you can't go to this con. And this span of, like, was these really ridiculous things, like, if you do this con, you can't go to another con for 3 months in this area. There was all these restrictions. I'm like, what the hell is this? So finally, I'm like, I'm not signing that. Like, I'll come to your convention, but, like, you can't be at another con in 3 months in the same radius. And I was like, all these rules. I was like, no. I kept fighting. Like, they kept saying, like, I'll come to your convention, but I'm not doing that. And finally, we went back and forth. Finally, they're like, all right, fine. They dropped that off the contract. And the con I was doing it for was somewhere out. It was going to be in New Jersey. I think it was going to be like in New Jersey. And apparently, the con got canceled. Like, it just fell apart. There was some kind of corruption or something mishap or whatever. And then it got canceled. And then there was all these people who had vendors, and vendor booth guys were like, where's our money? So like, it was big man scrambles. But I remember that it was years ago, a long time ago. But it was like, and I'm like, good, screw you guys anyway, because it was just so weird. But they had a couple of cons. I think it was all East Coast. It was 2 East Coast cons. And I was going to do like 2 or 3 of them, and then they were all connected, so when that fell apart, they all fell apart. But then, so yeah. But that was when it was blowing up. There was cons left and right. So I kept thinking, that's what ended up happening. So I was okay. So then, here's the weird thing with cons now. I've learned really quickly that, but Peter, my assistant, and I, when you were like, look, let's start making some effort. Fascism, yeah. When I started, Pete and I locked down one year and said, like it was last year, we started reaching out to all these conventions, and we found out really quickly it is next to impossible to reach a convention, to go to the people you need to go to know to be a guest, or how to go about being a guest. And it was like this thing of like, I have it set to where it's like, don't call us, we'll call you. So the big thing is you just have to keep making content and keep putting yourself out there. And of course, my content has not been readily available or put stuff up as much as I'd like. And so, with that being said, I'm trying to get more of that stuff going. But if you guys would like to have me at a convention, you've got to let people know and just write to them and say, we'd love to have Ted as a guest. And that's pretty much how it works. Because I love coming. I love going to engaging with you guys. Like what I'm doing right now in this live stream, I like doing in person. I like doing panels. I like doing workshops. That's why I like going. And one of my favorite conventions is GameCon Canada. The only thing that's heartbreaking about that convention is that they bring me out to judge, and that's my job. But that takes me Saturday, my entire Saturday, is booked from 9 a.m. to the time they run the costume contest. I sit in a room and we judge people with me and my fellow cosplay guest, cosplay judge guest, and that eats the entire Saturday. And Saturday's the day where I want to meet people, and I can't because I'm working. So that's why there's a Kelowna-con, was Night Lord Con, which was next to them, which they like to have me back next year, and I know they want me to judge a costume contest. And I adore those guys, and they're really nice, and I'll definitely go back next year, but my thing is, I'm not judging. I judge at GameCon Canada, and I do it because, and they pay me to do it, and I love doing it, but they pay me to do it, and that's the con I'll do. But that's, most cons bring me, I want to engage with people. I want to sit around people, because at GameCon Canada, when I walk around Sunday, people are like, oh my God, you know, I've been looking for you. I wanted to come show you my costume, but they're always on Sunday. They're in their street clothes, and so I realized from next time when the GameCon Canada comes up and I start doing the live streams and start doing the tickets, because they always give me tickets to give away every year, which is great. I have ticket giveaways for GameCon Canada, and when I do that, I gotta let people know I will not be at my booth on Saturday. If you guys have something you want to show me, you have to be there Friday or Sunday. You guys got to come and see me on Friday. You need a blood recipe stream. Kevin, man, tell you what, there's plenty. Rick Baker, I think Dick Smith. I mean, he's retired now. I think if you Google that, like Dick Smith's makeup recipe, he had a way of doing it, but he had a formula for, it's Karo syrup, red dye, he had this whole thing, but he used photo flow. Photo flow is for photography. He would add to his, so he used that for when the bloods hit the wall, how it would splatter and run. He figured out the consistency of blood thing. So yeah, but so many people. It's funny, Kevin, because when I was a kid, you had to make it yourself, and now you can just buy blood. It's crazy. Like, there's companies now you could go through. I guess if you need a lot of it, I think most of the times when you make blood, most of the effect shows you have to make, you end up making it because if you're doing something on set and you're squirting blood out people's bodies and stuff, and you're doing gags, you're going to do that a lot and more than once. So it's usually you have to make a big batch. So you have to make like a 5-gallon thing of blood, and yeah, that's usually when you make blood. Most of the time when you do makeup gags or little squirt gags, little close-ups and short shots, you can buy blood now. It's thick, yeah, but you have to make, and there's stuff to make. You have to make it thick, but you have to make it thin enough to shoot through. It has to be dark enough to look like blood, but also thin enough to shoot through a tube. So industries, that's how it works, yeah. But now you can buy it. It's insane. And you can buy good-looking blood. The blood you can buy off the shelf's not bad-looking blood. It's pretty good. Because when I was a kid, they'd sell this stuff in a tube. I was a product of the 70s, like fake blood. You'd sell it every Halloween. It was this goofy pink. It came in a tube called fake blood. And it was just a product of my generation when I was a kid. And you could buy it. And they'd sell it like every Halloween, like at Target or any corner store. They always get ready for Halloween. They'd sell that fake blood. And it was pink, and it would always stain you for some reason. Like, they claim it wouldn't, but it does. Hold on, guys. I got to find this really quick now. You can still buy it. Oh, it's a sticker. Never mind. That's not it. That's not. Sorry, I clicked the wrong image. Sorry, guys. Not real. Fake blood. It was a tube. Oh, it was called vampire blood. That's what it was. Vampire blood. That's what it was called. I've been having these bit of vampire blood. There it is. Oh my God. That's so great. There it is. That's it. Vampire blood. Safe for kids. Hold on. Let me grab an inch real quick, guys. Hold on. Let me show this to you guys really quick. Oh, it's on Pinterest. Of course it is. Alright. You remember that stuff? Yeah. Again, I'm sorry, guys. It took me to Pinterest, which Pinterest now has got a lot of slop on it. I don't do with it. We're not stuff in the 90s. Oh, they still had in the 90s. They did, didn't they? Little tube, vampire blood. It was like a little plastic tube. You cut the top and go. People always put it just because you just need a little bit, And it was everywhere as a kid. Like the kid holding it with his bloody fingers. Like that was the packaging I had when I was a kid from that era. I was flashing back to telling my wife and her dad about growing up with these toys I used to play with all the time. It was called Creepy Crawlers, which was Creepy Crawler, and it called Thing Maker, and the other one was the Monster Machine. The Monster Machine, the Monster, yeah. The Monster Maker Machine. The Monster Maker Machine I had a kid, and the Creepy Crawlers, which was a hot plate. And I still have my original molds up here on the shelf. So I still have my little metal tins. Yeah, slime was everywhere too. That was, oh my god, it was big in the 80s. As soon as they came up with slime, people just, and it would just, you play with it, get dirty. And other than that, they had green slime. You use it for your Alien play set. They had green slime. Green slime was, man, that was right up there with Pet Rock. The 70s of Pet Rock. When green slime came out, people came in a little plastic garbage can. They had purple and green. And just, man, people love slime. It was everywhere. And sometimes if you didn't get the lid on tight, it would dry out. It just turned a big rubber puck because you forget to put the lid on tight. Like slime. Yeah, but fake blood, man. That was such a big deal. But I remember making that. But anyway, it was like, yeah. But that was, the Monster Maker. The Monster Maker, and this toys I had from, I was 63 when I was born, so I was getting toys. There was things that we're getting that were kind of hand-me-downs. Because I think some things came out 77, 75, but some of those toys, like the Thing Maker or Creepy Crawlers, came out in 63, but they still had it for a while. They still kept around until people started burning themselves. They got rid of those things, but yeah, just the level of like easy bake oven, people would burn themselves with that one, and then the what else was there? But yeah, those are the toys I remember as a kid. I just freaking love those things. But yeah, Halloween. It was every year Halloween, and it was just orangey. Yeah, and Hammer films. Like you said, when you watch the old movies, yeah, there was reason. The blood, I think, was they were just trying because making blood. Just all I had to do was look like red and orange. They were more concerned with the film. The blood photographing, like they were like to test, like they would make sure the blood looked so you could see it, but also they didn't want to get rated. Like I don't know about the rating board. I don't in the British Hammer films. Again, I'm not that familiar with the history of fake blood, but I know as films progressed, film was mostly bright for film and blood because it photographed. Like the Wild Bunch and stuff, blood was like squirting everywhere in the Wild Bunch. I don't know how real it looked back then, but it was just, I think everything was very bright red. Like all the Italian westerns and stuff, when people get shot, the blood was very, very bright. Just, I think, more photographic quality. It was a little bit more theatrical, I guess, back then. But yeah, man, Creepy Crawlers. Fake blood. Hold on. Oh, there's the water weenie. Another toy from the 60s. Monster Makeup Lab. That's right. You would do the... there was this Scar stuff. That's it. Scar stuff. I remember this. The big thing as a kid. It was the same company that built. They did stuff called Scar stuff, which I think was like wax. It was cool. You put it, make it look like a scar, but it was still wet. You couldn't touch it. You know, that was one of the downsides. You could make it a scar and make it look pretty realistic too. Let's see what else I got. Hold on. Scar stuff. And of course the infamous plastic fangs that would, yeah, they glow in, yeah, hold on. Oh my god. Oh my god, there's another. Oh guys. Garbage Pail Kids, yeah, those were the bubblegum cards. They did a reissue of Mars Attacks. I remember as a kid growing up, they actually reissued in the 80s was Mars Attacks bubblegum cards. Or was that 90s? Was it in the 90s? Get shrunk down. So these guys could do a little broad stroke, but they do some of these. It was so cruel. Like, there's one with a laser beams like frying a dog. Like the dog his rib cage, like, it was like really guys, and there's blood everywhere. And there's a thing where the military guys are smashing an alien's head in with a butt end of a gun, the brains are just exploding. So anyway, of course, it's the 50s. Here goes. Well, guys, real quickly. This is my teeth, the plastic teeth, which they had everywhere. Everybody had the vampire teeth everywhere. There was a vampire movie in the 70s as a kid. I'll never forget it because the guy, the vampire, Twitch is gone. Twitch is gone. But my Twitch stream's not working? It says it's running on my end, Kevin. Because I run till 9 till 11. It's still saying it's on my end. It's still working. Anyway, stop it. Stop distracting me, Kevin. Anyway, the point being was the vampire fangs is that in the movie, in the TV show, like it was a movie in the 70s. Guy, he had plastic vampire fangs. As a kid, I'm like, that's all you guys could afford. Was the plastic vampire teeth you could buy at the store. So anyway, yeah. Anyway, hysterical. But yeah, plastic fangs, vampire blood, all from my childhood. Love that stuff. Garbage Pail Kids, slime, a super elastic bubble plastic. That was in the 70s, which was plastic with acetone. It was thin down plastic with acetone you would put on there and blow it and expose it to air and it would dry. It was super dangerous. Terrible stuff. Yeah, hysterical. Bad. Bad. Sound mixer. Usually there's 2 bars. Okay. Missing anything else, guys? Okay, hold on. Let's see what else. Oh my God, the evil eyes. God, all this just garbage. I remember all this stuff when I was a kid. There's the same company that made the evil eyes. What else they have in here? Icky teeth. Sorry guys, keep looking. It's so funny, they're showing us, like, every time I look at stuff, they show you what's going on in that era, that toy. like they're showing you what's on TV at the time, like whatever the toys or what was on television at that time. Oh my god! I'm sorry, guys. I'm on Pinterest right now. I'm looking at all this AI slop that's on here. Lots of slop. Lots of clothing ads. Hold on. Got that. Okay, enough. Sorry, guys. It's you gotta get off Pinterest. It's close. Getting off Pinterest. All right, go. Got it. If anyone has Tubi, we found some great low-budget horror movies there. I love. Oh yeah, tons of low-budget stuff. I grew up in '80s. There's a lot of straight-to-video stuff they made. More Netflix person. Yeah, it's it's because on Pinterest there's all this like AI slop. I was looking when I was working on the movie. I was looking for inspiration, so I was like looking for cockpit designs and ship designs. So of course I made a mistake of typing in on Pinterest like, here's what I'm looking for, and it just bombarded me with AI slop. I'm like, it's slop. You can't build from that. There's no designs. It's just garbage. So yeah, the AI slop stuff, you can always spot it. Like, bad. Anyway, guys, it's 11 o'clock. Again, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. For any of you people who are going to be in Florida in the St. Pete Front Bay area, I'll be at the Hilton at that particular hotel. And that area, I'll be staying at the Sun City Scare event. I'll be there for the entire weekend. I'm doing Saturday and Sunday. I'll be doing an event at 11 a.m. on Saturday. I'll be doing a little panel about the blood gags, which I'll be doing some stuff with water, and I do some stuff with fake blood. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to bring some baby wipes and stuff because making a mess. But that's all we had time for, guys. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. For people who just joined me today, too, some new people, thank you so much for hanging in and saying hi. I will, again, as you guys said, if you'd like me to be a guest at your local convention, let them know. Have them say, we'd love to have Evil Ted as a guest. That'd be great because I like getting out there and engaging with people. And for all you people, I'll be seeing it at Sunshine City Scare. Say that 3 times fast. All right, guys, thanks so much. And I'll catch you back next time right here on Evil Ted Live.